Hi, I'm Rachel Abbasi. Welcome to the Recovery Daily Podcast. As always, thanks for spending time with me. Hello, happy Wednesday. Welcome to all the newcomers. We've had an influx of newcomers, so welcome. Thanks for joining me. Today I wanted to talk about something that I've been feeling a little challenged with, and as always, I feel like if I'm challenged with it, it's got to resonate with somebody. So this is what's happening. I have a lot of great stuff going on in my life, and yet underneath that good life, I feel this pressure. I feel like this self-inflicted pressure. And a great example is today's Wednesday. And Wednesday evening is Celebrate Recovery. So those of you who have been listening for a bit recently know that I have been giving Celebrate Recovery a try. So I'm a long time attendee, long time for me, it feels like 9.5 years of AA, and moving to this new neighborhood. We have a local church in the neighborhood, so I've been attempting to and succeeding at going to church. And I thought, well, maybe Celebrate Recovery would be a nice, like, happy medium where it ties in church with my AA, and maybe I'll love it. Maybe I won't. So I've gone twice. And as much as I really enjoy the tie-in, and because I've been trying to work on faith, like my faith journey and making it stronger and having more confidence in my understanding of my higher power, I like the message and how it ties in the church and the AA. Like, it really does do that. It's a little different and you introduce yourself differently. But all of that stuff I've been fine with. The problem with Celebrate Recovery for me has been, number one, when I get there, the name Celebrate Recovery that's the name for a reason. It sounds like I come in and it's like very stimulating to all my senses. So it just happens to be in this one. They have a dinner ahead of time in the church, and there's all these kids, and all the kids are like screaming and playing. And I love kids, don't get me wrong. But with my disability, it's really challenging for me to be around that much loud noises and movement, seeing things that move. And the kids, like when I walk through the hallway of the church, when I get there, the kids are like full steam ahead, like running, hauling ass, if you will, through the church. So as much as it makes me happy because they're all giggling, I have to like try to block it visually. And so it's not a great way to start out the experience. And then when I go into the Celebrate Recovery room, it's like a big worship room, not the one with the pews, but more of the casual one that just has like chairs and a stage. That's where the contemporary service is on Sundays. So when I go in there, they have music like blaring. I haven't quite gotten to appreciate the modern church music, like the stuff that has like a nice modern beat, but yet the lyrics are more religious. It just doesn't resonate with me. Some of them I've heard, and it's actually stuck in my head, which is a good thing. So I'm not opposed to it, listening to new kinds of music or anything, but the issue is that the music is blaring over the speakers when you go in there. And so as I go in there, everybody starts filing in after they finish their dinner. And it's not a lot of people, but it's enough where the kids are filing in and they're running into their seats and everybody's really loud. It's a lot. It's a lot for me, and it is the opposite environment that I need to be in. So, I was talking to my psychiatrist today about this like requirement I put on myself when I decide I'm going to try something, when I decide I'm going to try Celebrate Recovery. I go once and then I have this feeling that I have to go back. I have this feeling like if I decide that I it's not for me, then I'm quitting, or I'm failing, or I'm not doing the next right thing. I about the next right thing all the time. And what it reminds me of is how difficult it was in the beginning of sobriety and still now, clearly, still now, how difficult it is to figure out what that next right thing is. Um, so when I was talking to my psychiatrist today about it, I said it's almost like I want external approval if I make a decision. Like I want her to say, if it's not for you, then that's fine. I give you permission to not go again to Celebrate Recovery. I think Celebrate Recovery could be fantastic for other people. I know there's lots of people that don't want to go to AA, and this is another option for people who don't want to go to AA. Um, it's not for me. It turns out it's not for me. And I needed to make the decision to, like, I needed to tell myself it's okay if you don't want to go back. So, what my psychiatrist was talking to me about was people who have intrinsic motivation and people who have extrinsic, I think that's the word, motivation, and how I feel very much like that I have intrinsic motivation. Like I told my family a long time ago, or at least I felt it, that money does not motivate me the way that it motivates that some of them, and that I have always been felt very strongly that I need and want to enjoy what I'm doing. That no amount of money is going to take me away from enjoying what I'm doing. That if I have a job and I don't like it, but it's paying more money than a job I would like, I would probably eventually go to that other job, even though it pays less money. I understand that there are some situations where you gotta work, whether you like it or not. So I understand that, but you get it. I'm talking about motivation, like what makes me happy, what I'm pulled towards. Um, and then the extrinsic is like doing things because I want approval. I want money. I want to avoid guilt. Like I care about what other people think, that kind of thing. I don't want to have that motivation, but I think that that's what makes me keep going back to something that maybe I don't feel 100% excited about. And so the Celebrate Recovery, I think, is what's happening with that. So I get trapped in this language about like what should I do, at what I should do or what I shouldn't do. And it's almost like an inner bully that I have. like a mean mom who's like standing over my head and saying, you need to do this. You need to finish what you started, that kind of thing. And that's not my mom, so I don't know where that comes from. That's not what my mom ever said to me. Um, and maybe sometimes she should have. But this should language is like, should I go to Celebrate Recovery because it's good for me? Should I go to Celebrate Recovery because I want what those people have? I see how happy they are. Should I push through the discomfort and go because there's something there for me? Or am I making myself do something because I am afraid that other people aren't going to like me if I don't go back? It's difficult to figure that out. But I think Celebrate Recovery is a really good example. So my psychiatrist, while we were talking about, it's okay to decide that you don't want to go back to something. Um, I thought, okay, well, I needed some sort of inner, like, external approval, I guess. So what she introduced to me is how I live very much on routine, which is why I'm able to consistently, I almost don't want to say consistently because I've failed at being fully consistent with this podcast lately. But that's my inner voice telling me that I'm not meeting my own expectations. So what she said is, you may get burnt out on your own routines. And I thought, that's what I feel like. We moved in October, and I've been trying to get in a routine. I've been trying to go in person to the AA, try out Celebrate Recovery. We've been trying out, like, they have restaurant specials. So, excuse me, every, I don't know, once a month probably, we go to one of the restaurants and try out like one of their specials. And then I had been walking Autumn to the water, but then it got really cold. And when I don't walk her, same thing. I have this feeling that I'm not meeting my own expectations. Like, it's hard to see it though. It's hard to see that I've created these expectations. But when I sit by myself in a room and I'm like thinking about all the things that I could do right now. For example, okay, we're just sitting here and I'm podcasting and I'm thinking, okay, what am I going to do? It's 2:30 right now. What am I going to do the rest of the day? This is what goes through my head. This is real action, live action here. This is what goes through my head. I really need to fill in the blank. I need to work on my book. I need to work on this painting that's right here, this big, gigantic painting. I need to finish a quilt, which I just finished before I hit record, by the way. It's like I have no job anymore. I have no career that now that I'm disabled. And yet I still have these self-imposed requirements. Are these leftover from society's expectations, like from a productivity type culture? Is it left over from my old role that I used to play? Is it fear? Is it comparing myself to others who do have a job? Am I needing to, and I feel this a lot, prove myself? Am I doing recovery right? Um, that's pretty sad. You know, it's pretty sad that on any given day while I'm here by myself, it's just me and my pooches. My husband is working his job. So I'm here, me, myself, and and I've got all of this. I need to. It's funny because in the past, I've seen people who are retired and they say, oh, well, I really need to get some gardening done. I need to clean the bathroom. I need to um, do this, do that. And I was thinking back then, because I was working and I'm looking at them in retirement and I'm thinking, you don't need to do anything, you know? And yet now I'm in the same position and I'm like, Rachel, you don't need to finish that painting. That painting is something that you started to get excited about, to be happy, to do something that's fun. So I should never look at that painting and think I need to do that. I should be thinking I want to do that. Where can I make room to do that? Because uh, um, I'm excited to work on the clouds. And that's true. I am excited to work on the clouds. And when I think about the different pieces of the painting, I get excited about working on it. But when I think of the painting as a whole, I I feel like that I need to finish it. And maybe that's an example of how I'm looking at recovery. Like I'm looking at recovery as a whole and something that I need to succeed at, like recovery perfectionism, you know. If I'm not doing these things and staying active and staying positive, and showing up to my meetings and having people see me at meetings, then am I failing? Am I sliding backwards? Am I the type of person who shows up, or am I the type of person who feels too tired to show up and crawls into bed? Like, I look at what I do, the decisions that I make on a daily basis, as decisions that define who I am. So instead of like what we talked about today is reframing these, what I look at as requirements and what I need to do as things that I'm choosing to do. I initially chose to go to Celebrate Recovery because I wanted to see what it was like. That doesn't mean that today I have to go to Celebrate Recovery. I I think I should go to Celebrate Recovery. Do I want to go to Celebrate Recovery? No. I mean, the only thing that I want from Celebrate Recovery is the lesson, is the tie back to the Bible and scripture of AA. Like I like getting a new perspective of the steps. If I stop going to Celebrate Recovery, am I giving up on recovery? No, I'm not. If I stop going to Celebrate Recovery, what I'm doing actually is the opposite. I'm listening to my recovery. So making a decision to quit, quote unquote, is actually is actually activate at turning my wisdom into action, my recovery wisdom into action. I am protecting my recovery if I decide not to go to Celebrate Recovery. Um, and for anyone who does go to Celebrate Recovery, I'm not by any means trying to slam Celebrate Recovery. It's just not for, I think the lesson is for me, but the physical environment is not for me. So what I need to do is look at not just my alcohol recovery, my alcoholism recovery, my sobriety, but I also need to look at my stroke recovery. And this, if I'm going to make a decision to not do something here, it goes way further than just, is this something that I'm benefiting from emotionally and mentally? I also need to look at, does this support my nervous system? Is this putting pressure on my vision system, like is it causing my head to hurt more, and is it worth it? I mean, that's a big thing that I think about all the time, is it worth it? Like, I've shared with you that there's my favorite Instagram lady is called Life with, I think it's Life with Duke 2025, I think is what it's called. Um, and it's just this lady with these two dogs. That's it. But she's like my grandma. I love hearing her voice and seeing these adorable dogs. And what was my point? For me, seeing Dookie, these dogs, it's worth it for me to watch that 30-second video. As long as the camera's not moving around a lot. If the camera's moving around a lot, it's not worth it. So I have to make these instances I have to make these decisions in an instant, whether this is good for me or not good for me. Kind of like when I was at Celebrate Recovery last week and I was walking down the hallway and the kids were running down. In an instant, I had to say, is this good for me or not good for me? Well, I couldn't do anything but look away, and like look towards the wall until the kids were gone. But it's challenging, and I want to remember that I need to give myself grace and have a compassionate boundary, am I allowing myself to outgrow something that no longer fits? If I've been doing something for a long time and it's like, this isn't good for me anymore. Am I allowing myself to outgrow it? My recovery and how good I am at it is not measured by how many things that I can get myself involved in. And sometimes I feel that way. Sometimes, and I feel like I have been thinking that since we moved into this new neighborhood, that my recovery is measured by how many clubs I join, that I'm going to be in the authors club and the art club and go to AA and go to church. And I have a new friend. We're going to dinner at her house this week. And it's like I'm measuring how successful I am at this recovery life thing by how many things that I can commit myself to. I need to make sure that everything is thoughtful and that I'm not being compulsive or that I'm not putting these requirements on myself. My recovery should not be trying to prove myself. It's actually building a life that I can live inside comfortably. That peace, what's the word? Serenity. The serenity, that is a valid metric for me. How often do I just settle back and feel that serenity? Like, Everything's okay. So if you are struggling sometimes with what you should and shouldn't do, I hope this resonates with you. Um, I would challenge you to try just at least once this week, pick something that you are telling yourself that you should do, that you need to do, and relabel it as a choice and see what that does for you. Is it something that you need to do because it's like work oriented, or look at the things that you're telling yourself that you need to do, and are some of those things, should they be fun for you? Did they start out as something fun and now they've become something that you should do? I think that's an interesting exercise, and it certainly helped me today. So thank you for listening, and I will talk to you next time.
Me.